it isn't perfectly flat. It does have that, but that's basically the major difference between an encrusted coral reef and an encrusted shipwreck. Is you tend to see reef growing in man-made kind of signals. We're over it right now, but this is one of the bits that's not so obvious. We're going to drift down on some of the bits that are quite obvious. So we'll kind of get there. So yeah, this thing was built as a ramming vessel in 1864. It had a 165 feet long. They gave it what they called a Greco-Roman style ramming bow. It basically meant it had a big ramming bow on the front that was 9 feet long, that was underneath the water, and extended off the front of the ship. And they added a few other things too. They actually made it out of cast iron. And it's an interesting decision, because cast iron is most certainly going to rust in salt water, right? Yeah, it will. And they figured what they would do is they put teak planking, teak wood, they put planking around the outside, about 8 inches thick, and get it sealed very closely together. Because that way they thought that the cast iron somehow wasn't going to rust, and that the salt water would never get through that. I don't understand how that was going to work, but anyway, they added twin engines to the boat because they now made it quite heavy between the cast iron and the teak. That actually makes it the first twin-engine military vessel ever built. They also gave it sails. They gave it 3 masts, so it was a 3-masted schooner with twin engines and 6.5-inch muzzle-loading cannons and a 9-foot ramming bow. And they actually built 3 of them: the Vixen down here, the Viper, and the Water Witch. And what they ended up doing is taking it out for its first sea trial. And they took it out to the English Channel. They kind of moved it around and put the wind in the sails. And they discovered something very interesting about this ramming vessel. Its maximum top speed was about 5 miles an hour. That wasn't going to work very well, was it? You see that's got a perfectly straight edge on it right there, and it's going to drop off. So Phil's going to get us I'm just thinking of all those fish. Go away, fish. No, go away, fish.
I know. I think it's there.
Go away, fish. You're going to see all bermuda chubs is what those are. See kind of football-shaped ones with the big bony eyebrow ridges? Those are all types of bermuda chubs. It's not a unique species to here, but they discovered it here. The one with the black dot on the tail is actually the Bermuda bream. That is a unique species to here. Then you also get the gray snappers, which have the more elongated snap to them. But yeah, they thought this boat was too slow, and they had built 3 of them, and they ended up being embarrassments to the Royal Navy. So the British did what they've always done with their embarrassments for centuries, and they shipped them off to their colonies. That's how we got one over here. So sorry, Miss Ethan. That's the one that's going to try and kill you.
Sergeant Major.
He's trying to eat the boat now, look at him. Yeah, that guy. So yeah, this boat arrived over here. We were supposed to use it for coastal defense. The local detachment, that's actually the boiler section that you guys back there are going over. That's the funnel that's lying on the side. Now it's the crack that is in it. Very possibly you might get it up here, you never know. But yeah, they stripped everything off this boat after it got here, actually. They took the cannons off, the rigging for the sails, they got rid of the engines, and they used it as what they called a prison hull, which basically meant it was a prison, and they stuck Irish convict laborers into it. They had some political prisoners from Ireland, about 4,000 of them on the island, and they would stick them on old battleships like the Vixen at night. The Vixen eventually caught fire and sank at the dock one night. At which point the Royal Navy got very annoyed with this boat. They refloated it. They filled it with dynamite, they dragged it all the way out here, and what they had in mind, that they were going to block a small boat channel that comes up this part of the island. It's not the major one. The major one comes on the east end of the island, we're on the west end. And they lit the fuse, and the explosion went off, and the boat, instead of sinking in the